welcome to Wine and Conversations. You are here with Tony and Brenda. So basically, just to get started, I'm just going to introduce Brenda to you a little, or I'm going to introduce our relationship.
Okay, great.
We met kind of in high school, and then later became friends in a very awkward way, which we won't go into detail about. But yeah, we just kind of had a mutual interest and then became friends later. And so, Brenda, if you want to tell a little bit about yourself to the people.
Well, like Tony said, my name is Brenda. I just graduated from A&M Texarkana. Whoop, whoop. I'm currently a medical scribe at St. Michael's ER. And in the next couple of months, I'm going to be traveling around the United States helping doctors in that aspect. So let's get started.
Okay, so Brenda, I'm gonna let you start off on that one, and then I'm just gonna fill in.
Okay, I mean, like we just said, I just graduated, and Tony graduated about a year ago, and so I feel like we're both in the phase where we're trying to get our whole adult life together.
Yes.
And that's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of frustrating, kind of exciting, and kind of nerve-wracking at the same time. Because, you know, as we're growing up, we all have a plan that we all like, by age 21, I want to do this.
Right.
By age 23, I want to do this.
Right.
And I'm now looking back at it, I'm just like, okay, I'm 21, and all the plans that I had for myself are definitely like not coming together how I wanted to. And so I'm in the phase of my life where I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I doing? In 3 years, I'm gonna be 24, and I want to have, you know, a man, and I want to get engaged and get married and have kids. And then once you graduate college, you know, people always ask you like, so what's next for you? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm just like, good question. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that describes post-grad, which is also a subject in there, so we may be tying the two together. But I completely agree. When I was younger, I was like, 21, 22, I'm obviously going to be engaged, clearly. And then I was like, by 25, I'll have my career going, and by 27, I'll probably have some babies. And I'm 23 right now. And I graduated a year ago. I can tell you I'm nowhere near having a man. And I do have my career going a little bit. So that's one thing that came earlier than I thought. But it's just, like Brenda said, it's just we had a plan. And then you kind of have to realize as you start like growing up, it's not going to be anything like that.
Right, so, like life happens. And you have to go with the flow. That is like the hardest thing for me, is going with the flow. I'm just like, okay, I know life happens, but I don't want it to, so I'm just gonna like push things and make it happen. And then when you like try to make things happen, your plan goes like off script even more. So you're just like, oh my gosh,
it fails tremendously. So yeah, that's how mine was. But you have to trust that it's gonna go how it's supposed to go, if that makes sense. So with adulting comes the money issues and bills, and both of us still live with our parents, so it's like, when are we going to move out, furthering our education, adult relationships, and it's just so crazy because all those topics are actually in this bowl. So I know we're doing all of it right here, but it's just like Brenda said, is you think you have this plan, and it's still okay to plan out some things. Right. I just would not try to be like super strict to the plan, because
it's not gonna go how you want it to.
Right, and that's what makes adulting really frustrated, and you get, you know, upset because you're like, I had this plan, it's not going like that. And I think that's where most of my frustration came from, is because it wasn't aligning with what I said when I was like 15.
Right.
And so, but I mean, I don't know. I'm still like very happy now that I've kind of accepted the flow of things and adapted to how things are
going now.
Right. And I've struggled with mental health my whole life, just having really bad anxiety, especially when I went to college. I had it really bad. And so I've always struggled with it. And now I work with it, so I get to see it on a whole different spectrum. And I guess I just wanted to talk about maybe some tips on how to deal with, how to, you know, what is it called, like self-care, self-love, but also, you know, working, because they can conflict a lot of the times, especially if you have like really trying jobs, which every job that you deal with people is going to be trying. So
say that again.
And that's every job. Me and Brenda just so happen to work at hospitals, which is really kind of nerve-wracking at times, especially if you work in the ER part. And mine is kind of an ER, but it's like a ER for mental health. So if you have any tips on that, or just how have you dealt with your mental health?
I would say for me personally, like, in undergrad, I kind of struggled with, I guess, stressing and then anxiety. I have really bad anxiety, and this year I set a goal that's gonna sound like really dumb, but I am terrified of driving on the interstate.
Really?
Like I do not do it. I don't know why. I've never had like a car wreck. I've never had any bad experiences on the interstate, but like once I get on there, I literally start crying out of nowhere. My hands sweat. My heart starts to palpitate, and I'm just like, I need to get off.
Stacey Dash, I'm clueless.
Yes. And so Texarkana is really small, and if I have to get on the interstate, I will literally take dirt roads, back roads to just avoid it. So this year, my goal was to just overcome that fear and my anxiety of driving, and little by little, I've gotten on the interstate a little bit. So when I came over here, I got on the interstate, so woo.
Progress.
But in the sense of like working and getting everything together, I think we all have anxiety over like our future. And so like we just said with the topic of adulting, when we have a plan and it doesn't like come together, or we see that other people or our friends are ahead of us, we start to panic and think, okay, like I don't have my stuff together. Like what are they doing right and what am I not doing right? And so in that aspect, I think we all kind of struggle with that mental health. And like Tony said, like if you're struggling with mental health or have anything, I think working with yourself is one of the biggest things. So like self-love and taking care of yourself is one of the best things that you can do. So if you're working a lot and you're stressing, take a day off, relax, grab a bottle of wine, and just Netflix and chill with yourself.
I actually really like the point you just made, taking some time with yourself. I just recently started learning how to actually take time with myself, hang out with myself, and like get to know myself, and that has helped with my mental health a lot, because like you were saying, naming some of the reasons why we have that mental health in our workplace, it's good to kind of find the root of your anxiety and depression and things like that, because if you find the root, then you can kind of either
start working towards that.
You can work towards fixing it, or I was going to say avoid it, but that would be horrible. Don't avoid it. Don't, like Brenda said, her goal out to drive on the interstate. Don't avoid the interstate. Make it a goal to like work and drive on the interstate. That was Dion. He was asking how old we were. We are old enough to drink. I promise. But yeah, I think that's important to know the root of where your mental health is coming from. And you're not going to always know every root or whatever I'm trying to say. You're not going to always know the cause of it immediately. But that's where spending some time with yourself and getting to know yourself, that's where that comes into play. Because once I did get to know myself and I just sat there and I started writing, because I blog also, and writing also helped me learn, what I like, what I don't like, some of my problems that I've been having, and all of that jazz. So I think that's very important. Spend some time with yourself, because like everyone says everywhere, self-care is not just about getting your nails done or going to the spa, even though that is so helpful. Do that. That helps out. That helps out at work. Going to the spa and things like that. But just really taking some time out and doing things that you enjoy, hanging out with friends, just kind of getting away from a stressful environment, because work is stressful. Everything about work is stressful. I mean, I don't know what any of y'all jobs are, but I'm sure it's stressful, because you have to deal with other people, and dealing with other people and other people's emotions is stressful. And then you get your paycheck, and then you gotta pay bills
and responsibilities.
And
then after that, you have no money.
Left.
I just worked like 40 hours and I'm broke.
I'm tired. You're like, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, and I'm still broke. So and that's another thing my daddy told me when I started working here, because when I first started working at the job I work now, I was working like 5 to 6 12s a week. And he was like, you really have to, if you're going to do all of this, you're making all this money, then you're going to have to take some of that money and spend it on yourself. He was like, buy something that you love and go on a trip or something. So I started taking a lot of trips, and I started changing my wardrobe up, because it made working more rewarding. And so it wasn't as stressful, and I didn't have to struggle with all that anxiety on that level of I'm just working for no reason, just to pay off bills. Because that's what I felt like. I was like, I'm just living to pay off bills. Like, this sucks. So that's important. Any other tips? What are some other tips?
I think like the number one thing is self-care.
It is.
And I think if you can't handle it by yourself, definitely having a support group like family, friends, and someone you can talk to about your mental health would definitely be the second thing to go to if you see that you can't handle it by yourself.
That's true. I agree with that. Support systems. That's so important.
Yes.
One, it's important for you to be a support system for somebody else, and it's important for you to have a support system because you're going to need somebody to lean on those really hard days when you've worked and people have gotten on your nerves and you just need to blow off steam and vent about everything. You're going to need somebody or a group of people, whichever one is your thing. You're going to need that, and so I would definitely have that support system. But in order to keep a support system, you also have to be a part of a support system. You have to show love to your friends. And another thing that has helped me with my personal mental health is like giving out the love that I always wanted to receive. That has really helped me this past year is just showing love towards other women. And I don't really have a lot of guy friends, so I'm sorry. You probably won't see any on this Wine and Conversation show. I'm sorry about that. You're really only going to see women. But, it's important for us to support each other and love on each other. And in turn, I have gotten so much love back. And so that has also helped me when I feel really stressful. I just start showing love to other people. And that's really has helped me. Plus wine also helps. Don't become alcoholic or anything. But wine has really helped too. So, just
drink in moderation.
Yes. You see, we also have water here as well. So it's not just bottles. But I think that may wrap up our portion for today. So I think that wraps up our portion. Brenda, thank you for joining me on here today.
Thank you for having
me. Brenda is probably going to be back in some of my other projects because it's Brenda. So that's going to wrap up today. Join me next time on Wine and Conversation. Bye.